What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Canes Insight Daily Podcast, powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. We're some new digs here. Had some internet issues last time we had Mike in, so we reacted quickly, just like Mario fixing the defensive backfield. We adjusted. We are here in Casa Cultura Media House. Happy to have us here. These guys are awesome. Look at this. We got like 100 G's worth of art hanging around, all kinds of old memorabilia. Got some exclusive Canes Insight art right here. So I think we're living pretty lavish. Mike, how we doing?
Happy birthday, D Money. It's a big one today. I can't believe you didn't lead with your own birthday. It's my big one.
It's my Mike Gundy day. I was going to lead with you wearing buttons. That's how I know we're in a new classy environment. You got buttons on your
Why
shirt.
do you think I'm dressed so fancy? Do I look like a slob usually?
No, it's just like now that you're in the, you've been in the media world. Now that I'm in the media world, my use of buttons has decreased exponentially.
Yeah, especially on Croqueta County Wednesdays.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Croqueta County is already sponsoring Cultura Media House. So these guys are all over the place. We got a big picture of Eileen Andrade here in the Wall of Fame. So, yeah, Islas is worldwide. That's an easy one. But, yeah, man. Feeling good.
So it's your Mike Gundy day. That's a big one. We're in a brand spanking new studio. How's the lighting? Pete, hop in real quick.
Oh,
Pete,
yeah.
do we have the ability to have you hop in?
The last comment here was actually from the ghost of Yvonne Donaldson saying the lighting looks great. And you know what we didn't think about, D, when we put me at the bottom is that the comments are going to cover me. So I'm going to have to switch that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to move around.
So let me
give yourself prime real estate, Pete.
Yeah, I'm going to take myself off here for a second.
Yeah, I'm in a different chair right now, which is like really uncomfortable for me because it's like the Tonight Show, but with D Money.
You got to worry about how to cross your legs.
Don't worry. I don't worry about that at all. Like, I'm very comfortable. Which way do you do it?
I struggle with it,
Yeah.
I struggle with it.
Because of societal norms when it comes to masculinity.
I sent you that meme.
Yeah.
Eisenhower was standing with his legs crossed, like straight up.
Yeah.
He was looking like Gal Gadot with his legs crossed.
I'm very comfortable doing that.
He was a 5-star general.
Mm-hmm.
And it was accepted.
I'm very comfortable doing this. Like until my 20s, this was the way. This
right.
is the,
that's my
man way to do it.
Yeah.
But it's impractical. Look, it's hogging up
a little bit.
This is
getting old.
I get a little stretch here on the
Yeah.
glute area. Like I'm improving myself while I'm just doing content.
There you go.
How is the tan in this studio?
We're getting a lot of comments about the lighting, a lot of positive comments about the setup here. Christianville says great studio. Navon Donaldson, Ghost of Navon Donaldson says lighting looks great.
Oh, this is
Sergio
good.
Sanchez says new setup, same Wi-Fi. So hopefully we don't have any connection issues.
That's definitely not great.
I haven't gotten any messages like that here.
I mean,
Sergio, that might be you there.
I'm connected directly to it.
Yeah. Hopefully,
you want
hopefully
one way to cut me is that Wi-Fi comment. Hey, did you guys know Miami now has more money than Georgia and Oregon? Did you guys hear that?
It just means more at Miami. It just means more.
How is this narrative allowed? How has this been perpetuated online? Why are so many people? This is beyond comprehension. Why are so many people convinced that Miami not only has the most money in the conference, but has more money than Oregon and Georgia? Oregon and Georgia, a Big Ten school and an SEC school. Miami has a student body of about 18,000. An alumni base that is way smaller than those two schools. Not a state school. A historical outlier, by the way, for a private school to be doing the things that Miami has done. 5 natties. Should be 6. With one of the worst broadcast deals in the history of sports media. Miami has more money than Oregon and Georgia? I ask you this question. Miami's gone head-to-head with these schools several times over in the last couple of years while Mario Cristobal has been down here. And Miami hasn't always won.
Nope.
Miami's lost to Georgia routinely. Miami's lost to Oregon several times. They've gotten wins. They've gotten losses. When those schools win, it's never about them having the best offer. And you got ahead of this last week, and it was a deft move by you because it was absolutely true. That's when I started feeling better about Jackson Cantwell. When the stories came out that Miami has the best NIL offer and people start floating these insane numbers, that's when I knew that we had them scared. Now, this was a very difficult kid to read. You were all over it. You maintained the line that Miami felt good, but it was a bit of a mystery here. And we can tell from the video Mario Cristobal celebrating, like it wasn't until like moments before that Miami people started feeling good that this was going to happen.
Oh, listen, me and Pete on the show, we're talking pretty much since February, like, hey, we're in this.
Mhm.
He loves Miami. We have a real shot here. It's actually a better shot than Pepe. When he pushed back the commitment the first time, he was going to come to Miami. But I will say the last week, and I reported this in Kansas, and I go, look, guys, what I'm getting from Miami is he's going to Georgia, or Georgia's leading. We're playing second right now. The day of, I made a post about this. Quoted the old Beanie Siegel song. My spidey sense was tingling a little bit because I felt I was being lied to, but for the first time ever. Because
Really?
UM does not lie. If I might have to not say something,
Uh-huh.
you know, I might keep something back, but they don't usually tell me something that's different than the truth.
How'd that make you feel?
You know
Some
what?
kind of
It
way?
made me feel happy because they're telling me that he was going to Georgia. So I didn't want to believe them. So I wanted them to be lying to me. I said, please be lying to me.
I don't like that as a move.
It's like, so it's like when they tell you bad news and you say, oh, tell me it's a lie. Tell me it's a lie. I was happy that it was a lie.
Don't try to work CanesInSight.
But that's what I said.
We're the good guys.
I said it on the board that I sniffed out the lie, and you know, something sneaky here. Of course, it worked out. So glad it was a lie.
Why was he so hard to read? Was he genuinely like not sure until the final moment?
It was a very cerebral process. The kid has got a 33 on his ACT as an 8th grader.
Yeah.
So
now that he signed with us, I'm very impressed with the young man.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I'm happy with the CanesInSight community because we're getting a lot of comments that he's well spoken. You know, usually you only say that for black kids.
Yes.
And it's kind of coded language a little bit.
Yeah.
I like using the well spoken on a white.
Well, it still applies for Podunk Towns in Missouri.
Right. Well, listen, man, this guy, again, 33 on the ACT is crazy.
No, he's a smart guy. And tackles generally can be smarter and impress you. I don't know why people are naturally predisposed to think they're some lunkheads, but this dude's a lot younger than I knew.
16 years old.
And he approached it with a maturity that I think is relatively uncommon to the point of spooking me. Because I couldn't get a read on, wait, this guy's going to actually be normal with this? Like, we're going to have like a top recruit in the nation actually have a normal process. And then we learned quickly after he committed that he's no longer the top recruit in the nation. That's our bad.
Yeah,
that was our bad.
Spots. It got a lot worse over the weekend.
Or how bad is our evaluation? Like, he dropped 7 spots overnight upon commitment. That's a stain on Mario Cristobal and his coaching staff when it comes to talent evaluation.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Listen. I will say this. I like 247. I mean, Lake and Gabby are the best, and they have nothing to do with the rankings.
Yeah.
They're the best.
Let's put it all on David Lake. That he's the person, like, he went and took the placard and moved it down.
He's the best. They're great. The national brand, I like it too. I mean, they're a competitor. I like them. I mean, they're not really we're not a national show like that as far as we don't cover the whole country. I think they're great. I will say honestly, On3 took their lunch money when it came to the last draft when they compared it. So whatever's happening in their evaluation process, it's slipping a little bit. And I think a guy like Cantwell, look, I can understand why a Cantwell would have some questions compared to some other tackles that have been in that position.
Yeah.
I saw him at the Under Armour game. His pass blocking was still right. He doesn't pass block a lot in Nixon, Missouri. So there's rawness there. But when you look at the physical tools, there's about 6'7", 300 plus. Really lean. I mean, his dad looks like Braun Strowman, and this guy is still kind of lean like a basketball player. He's going to get even bigger. He already has a 500-pound bench, 16 years old. His shot put data is otherworldly. He is an Olympic caliber shot putter, which makes sense because his parents are both Olympians. So makes sense. So all that makes tracks. His athletic testing is good, the shuttle and all that kind of stuff. Vert. When a guy is that smart, 33 ACT and that conscientious, if he needs to work on his technique, he will do that work, and he's physically able to make that happen. He's the kind of guy that you say, all right, I feel comfortable projecting technique onto this player because he has the athletic traits he needs, and he has the mentality and the approach that he is going to take every bit of coaching you have and translate it to his game. So I feel good projecting technique to him, especially with Alex Mirabal. And when you add technique to him, you're talking about a top 10 pick easy.
So you don't want to call this a good old-fashioned recruiting battle because NIL is in the world now, and that's not old-fashioned. So NIL is obviously a factor, but I don't think anybody had a better NIL offer than anybody else when you're talking about these schools in particular. And keep in mind, let me maintain, no booster base stretches itself further than Miami's.
Can I say something real quick on that one point? Shout out to the Cubans, I got to say. You know, because you always, when you look at these recruiting battles historically, going back to like the movie Blue Chips, you always picture the boosters like in the smoky room, you know, those old kind of Southern gentlemen buying, paying for the players. Cubans, man, someone's doing something right, because we're paying for all these elite players and everybody's scared of us now. We're the new booster stereotype.
That's right. People genuinely have no idea how this works, and a lot of that is by design. Yeah, are there some whales that you maybe know about? When it comes to Miami, not so much. I know more about like Tennessee's boosters than I know about like the big time whales, really, at Miami. Miami operates in the shadows. Real G's move in silence, and they also have people that aren't looking for the cliches about Miami, all flashy. I understand. You think that John Ruiz is some sort of character archetype for a Miami booster. The truth of the matter is, it couldn't be further from the truth, from the people that are actually making moves and helping this program right now, to the tune of really impactful resources. There is one thing, though, that I wanted to talk to you about, because this was a good old-fashioned recruiting battle in that everything was equal, and the kid seemed to have made a decision based off of who's going to develop me the best. And I believe you when we look at these staffs. Alex Mirabal is the best offensive line talent developer. However, there is some convincing arguments from the other side. And this tweet came up on my timeline. On 3, JD Pickle had is it Pickle or Pickle? It's 2 L's, so
I don't know, but
he does a great job. I like him a lot.
Yeah,
he's good. He's a former Ivy League player, I think. He's good, but yeah, I don't know how to pronounce the last
JD
one.
had a tweet about it would be weird if NIL wasn't a factor with Jackson Cantwell, but let's not pretend that the staff that developed Penny Sewell had nothing to do with Miami winning this recruitment. And that stirred up a lot of emotions, because naturally Georgia fans and Oregon fans don't lose to Miami unless it's only because of money.
Right.
Because we have more money than Phil Knight, apparently.
Right.
But this is a pretty convincing argument that that Kirby Smart would be the head coach that you'd want to go to develop your talents, because you and I believe Mario Cristobal to be a good developer of the offensive line.
Yep.
But let's look at what the NFL thinks. Offensive lineman drafted. Now, this is a bit of a cherry-picked argument, but in 2018 at Oregon, 0 offensive linemen drafted for Mario Cristobal. Don't get mad at me. I'm just reading the tweet.
Yep.
2019, he had 2 drafted, round 5, round 6. 2020, 1, round 1. I guess was that Panay?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Pretty good one.
Yeah. 2021, Oregon, 0. Leaves Oregon, first year at Miami. You want to hold that against him, but 0. 2023, recruiting base head coach, starting his classes, 1 offensive lineman drafted, round 7. Now we're cherry picking an era where it's pretty transient for Mario Cristobal, but 2024, 1 offensive lineman drafted, round 5. That's not hugely impressive. You can that's one hand. Offensive lineman drafted from Mario Cristobal since 2018. Let's look at Kirby Smart. 2017, 0. 2018, 1, round 1. 2019, 1, round 6. 2020, 3, round 1, round 4. 2021, 2, round 3, round 6. 2022, round 6 and round 6. He had 2 drafted. 2023, 2, round 1, round 5. 2024, round 1, round 5. 2025, round 2, round 3, round 3.
Yep.
So what do you say to that? Because that's a pretty convincing argument that Georgia is better at putting guys in the NFL and developing them for the next level.
Very simple. So first of all, they had different offensive line coaches for a lot of those guys.
Mhm.
So we're talking about Stacy Searles, who's the current offensive line coach at Georgia, not what they had before, all of whom have gone on to bigger and better things. Searles is a journeyman who we saw at Miami and was terrible, had terrible lines. We mentioned the Charlotte game,
Yeah,
where you big timed one of the members of the studio.
I got a lot of
my
crap
guy,
from somebody that tried to. I'm sorry, I already forgot his name, which is poor on me, which doesn't know my case.
Right on brand.
I'm big time, and I'm the second time. But he's like, I went to the ACC championship. This is how you relate the story to me, which is, I went to the ACC championship and I shouted out Michael Irvin. And he gave me a big hug and he treated me like family. And then I tried to say what's up to Mike Ryan in Charlotte, and he went like this, like, get away from me. Yep. Number one, I would never do that. I would never say get away from me. I may have projected
there's more projection of get away.
Yeah. But then like 5 minutes later, I hear the one little interesting bit of context that could illuminate the whole situation, which is you try to holler at me at halftime of a game that we were getting shut out in, of a game that I foolishly thought we had a chance in. Do you remember how that game went? We got to stop on that first drive. We muffed a punt. And then Mark Richt kicked a field goal with like 7 seconds left to avoid a shutout. It was a terrible game.
Yeah.
I had like a 4-hour drive ahead of me because no flights were available to Charlotte. I had to like go to like fly out of Virginia. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I made a terrible mistake in going to that game. Although something good came out of it. I met Peter Rees and those beautiful bright eyes for the first time. It was a great experience meeting you, Pete. And look at us all these years later. So you had a good experience with me over there. But let me tell you something. If you're trying to say what's up and say, hey, fan of the show, like, especially knowing like what surrounds my character on the air, which is like, don't look at me in the eye, don't talk to me. Definitely don't do it when there's a heartbreaking.
I didn't know that was your gimmick.
That's a gimmick. Yeah. It's a gimmick. Like, I'll tell the Canes Inside audience, although if you ever bumped into me at Whip and Dip, you may feel differently.
Johnny Lagoon's still
Sergio just said Mike Ryan's been on the Levitard show on record telling fans don't talk to me in public. So
yeah. I'm not going to really push back all that much. The way that I said it is like, if you come say hello to me, you're going to have a good experience, unless it's halftime of the game and I'm getting shut out. And then no one's going to have a good experience. My wife didn't have a good experience with me that day. All right. But I said, if you come up to me and you say you recognize me from the show, I'm going to make sure that your memory is a good one, that you have a good impression. But in my head, I'm going to be thinking, I wish this wasn't happening, which is true. I mean, yeah, I would prefer not having an awkward interaction in my mind, but people took that as, and I amplified it a little bit. People took that as like, don't talk to him, which honestly, despite that reputation not being stellar, was one of the greatest things I ever said into a microphone, because I can see people recognize me and do the calculations thinking that I don't like that, and they avoid it. Or they do the thing, which is like, hey man, I know you hate this, but let me still do it anyway, which is fine. As long as you acknowledge that I'm not okay with this.
It makes sense now, because we went to Gainesville. I got to say, I was quite a lot more popular in that setting, but now I realize that you kind of predispose those people not to talk to
I'm
you.
not very approachable. I try to like, especially like Cane stuff, like nothing like ruins my vibe more, especially at the Canes when like I know I'm being watched, because then I have to check my emotions. That's why I started gummying during games.
Sergio says I was at the Cal game and nervous to say hi because of this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was not a good game to like say hello to me in until like the very end. But then like I had like so much like nicotine in my system at that point. Like my legs gave out. It's honestly like why I've like toned it down. That Cal game since then really toned down the nicotine pouches.
It's funny. I obviously a big Elvis guy. He was known for not only speaking to fans, but looking them in the eyes, communicating the emotion. What you're saying to me right now is the most important thing happening in the world. Most famous person of the 20th century, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Ryan Ruiz, you're already past that level of fame.
No, it's a social anxiety. It's just a preference. I'm like, like the real me is like, if I'm like around a comfortable group of friends, I'm more outgoing and I'm more into it. When I know that
maybe like a group chat environment, like if you're in a group chat.
Listen, we have a comment here that says met Mike last night and the vibes were cool.
Oh,
from movie
man.
review man.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Oh, he's a big time Canes fan. Thank you so much. I co-hosted a screening of Friendship at the University of Miami.
Oh, there you go.
Hours after Jackson Cantwell committed, I warned everybody that tuition was about to go up. What a beautiful campus that we have.
Yeah, you were the commencement speaker. One of our guys here he was at your commencement speech.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a commencement speech?
Well, I thought so. Maybe it was a different guy.
I never had a commencement speech at Miami.
That's what I thought. I'm like, man, you moved up. No wonder you're
at Miami. I did not. I went to Miami.
Josh Mays
College.
He saw you in the Atlanta for the Alabama game. Could have been nice. It must have been before the game. Christian Ville said, "Hey, Mike Ryan," before a Canes game, and Mike just waved.
I mean, what do you want me to do there?
I don't know.
I feel like that's appropriate.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike Ryan. Sup?
Yeah, that's good. Sup? If you guys see me in public, come on in. I'm gonna milk every second of it. I'll take a picture. I'll make sure my kids and my wife and everyone around sees the picture being taken.
You ham it up.
I'm hamming it up. You see me in public. That's how it's going down. By the way, we gotta give a shout out here to Robert Perez, guy's daughter Michaela in the studio today. Big Canes fan. Shout out to her. Shout out to Robert.
I said hello to her when I came in.
How was the hello, Michaela?
Well,
it was great, cordial, good. Okay.
Should we? Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
she's a
yeah,
family to you.
She shouted out my cousin-in-law Nick Mekras, who's actually playing football at what, the Catholic University.
Stephen
Oh.
Aveo says, saw Mike Ryan at Islas Canarias Express and he slapped the OG ham croqueta out of my hand.
All right, now
That-
we're,
that
now
is-
we're dealing with a
that is-
sponsor. Now we're talking about a
That's
sponsor.
slander,
That's a little
and
too
he's
much.
a lawyer, and he's feeling frisky.
We're talking
with
about
all
a
these-
sponsor here, guys.
With all these Georgia fans in our mentions, he's ready to pounce and attack.
Oh yeah, you had lobbed me up one on those.
Yeah, by the way, I gotta say, your defense of Mario Cristobal's draft track record, not great.
I got sidetracked. I'm happy to deal with it right now, which is the obvious, which is
You put it on
they
an
have a
assistant.
new coach. They have Stacey Searles, who in that game, which got us sidetracked against Clemson,
Yeah.
we had offensive linemen doing splits because they were getting beat so bad.
Yeah.
By the Searles offensive line was abysmal. Fast forward to 2023, and we are making a highlight reel on our offensive line against Clemson.
Mhm.
Francis Mauanoa is destroying guys
Mhm.
on Clemson and making his own highlight reel. And we won the game with a quarterback that wasn't even given the chance to throw because we were so physically dominant. One to the other, apples to apples. So what I would say to that is their current offensive line coach at Georgia, look, Kirby Smart's a great recruiter. He's getting the best guys. Kirby Smart is not making these guys.
How is he getting the best guys if he doesn't have
He's a
any
great
money?
recruiter.
But he doesn't have any money.
For a while, they paid him under the table, as we know. They paid him 40 G's under the table. As we know how Georgia and Alabama got players for many years. I mean, I don't know if you can say it. I can say it. They were giving guys
They were.
cash, minor amounts compared to what they pay now.
In your lifetime, how many South Florida recruits had parents that took jobs at car dealerships in Alabama?
Oh, well, I mean, you had a whole Samoan family living in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I mean, I don't know how big the Polynesian community in Tuscaloosa, Alabama is.
Yeah.
But it expanded quite heavily when certain football players chose the University of Alabama. So I mean, SEC's been cheating forever. We've gone over that.
We're not at the time yet. I need a couple more years to pass. But there are some stories about prisons that we will get into.
Oh yeah, you're right. You can't tell that one yet.
No.
If
We
you've
won't
seen the
tell
movie
that
He Got
story.
Game, you can kind of figure out some of the things that are going on at these schools.
I said prisons with an S at the end.
Right. Well, Adrian Peterson already said that's how they got him to Oklahoma. I believe that's out there. But
there used to be an honor amongst thieves.
Bullyville, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Your support in the show.
Yeah. And Pete, please keep coming with like people that have said that they met me and had good positive interaction.
Someone actually said that they saw you in Louisville and you gave them a compliment on his bourbon hat that he was
there you go.
Miami Angel Share Society.
I gotta tell you, I'm coming away like on the balance of things, a pleasant individual.
Give a nod here to Antonio Acosta.
And Antonio Acosta said, saw Mike at the hotel in Louisville. He was on the phone, but gave a nod. He was with another couple, so didn't want to bother him. Shout out to the Chi family.
Yeah. Yeah, look at me. I'm a nice guy. I try my best, folks.
There it is.
I'm not
super friendly. Me in Gainesville being up 14 at the half might have helped. I mean, I would have been like, paying for kids to go to school at halftime. I was feeling so good at that game.
Yeah,
that
well,
was,
pre and post, like you got recognized a bunch, which is, it's not the easiest thing for you to get recognized because you don't have like a big social media presence of your own.
I mean, it was just me, you, worldwide superstar Danny Ramirez, Kevin Clark of ESPN, but
you were the belle of the ball.
That's what can I tell you? Is that I didn't put out that disclaimer of not approach. But yeah, if you see me approach Pete, I'm pretty sure does not want you to approach. Pete, where are you on approach these days?
Dude, what are you talking about? I've been getting approached for years.
I know you were getting approached in high school.
Yeah, he's
man.
not low key. He's touching wood at the basketball games. But
I have no problem with it.
I haven't had the opportunity to go to many football games with Pete, even though I met him at a football game.
You don't want to.
He's better since he stopped drinking.
I did go to one in Tampa with him, and he didn't even trust himself in there. Like he just got up and left, and he was watching the game from the concourse a little bit. Like
you're right. I
you
forgot
remember
about that? That was this year, so I take what I said back.
Don't let Canes hoops get their swagger back. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I'll tell you what, they didn't let Canes baseball get their swagger back. You guys fell for it.
Oh.
You fell for it.
No,
you got all your hopes up. You were the hottest team in the nation.
Hold on. Are you not going to be in the building tomorrow night?
No, I'm going to be in Daytona.
Oof. Well, I'll be in the building tomorrow night.
You are Mark Light.
I'll be at Kendall Hammocks for the 10U All-Star game.
Then maybe I speak for
supporting
myself
E-Money.
here.
I'll be there on Friday. By the way, do my ad read now. Get the transition. Well, let me butter these guys up a little bit after you just crapped on them.
I'm sorry. Sorry, that's actually not a good transition. You want to get a little distance between my.
I'll butter them up a little bit. Listen,
tell me why I'm wrong.
It's baseball. We're in a baseball studio. This is where I film a big league show. If you guys are into Major League Baseball, college baseball, international baseball, we touch it all with MLB
this
executive.
This place is like a
Adrian
museum.
Lorenzo. Oh yeah.
I'm going to remove myself so they can see the logo up there.
Yeah, you got the big league show up here. So we're going
never mind.
every single week.
He named it.
Never mind. It's
just put El Big League Show into YouTube, 786 Sports. You'll find us. Subscribe. Insight from, again, MLB executive, 2-time World Series champion, Adrian Lorenzo. Exclusive stuff. If you're a baseball nerd, you will get more insight than you could ever imagine.
Dude,
but he'll tell you, the first to tell you, baseball is a game where it's not as bad as you think. It's never as good as you think. Never as good as you think when you're on the run. When you get swept, it's not as bad. Just got to keep on playing. At the end of the day, we'll be a tournament team and a much improved ball club. Pete, what do you have?
No, well, this is Sergio has a good comment here that I agree. I think this would be fun. He said we need a CanesInSight watch party stream for a game this season. Mike, I'm having visions of like a Chiringuito sort of.
Dude. Yeah, we'd kill that.
Yeah, that'd be great. I tried to do something like that for the bowl game, but it was just me. You need multiple people on.
No, we'd kill that. We should absolutely do that. With this production value.
Yeah.
Give us this studio, this lighting. By the way, how's the tan looking? Now that we got the lighting correct, what's the tan competition
Hold on,
looking
I just had a little Wi-Fi connection.
Got to hit on the Wi-Fi?
No, literally as you were saying
when
that.
I'm trying to like show the world.
We're hyping up.
All right, we're back now.
Let me ask you.
We got 1,000
ask you a real question. If you're in the comments and you know about this.
He's aided by the white long sleeve.
Will your politics allow us to use Starlink? I heard that's the way to go.
Look, man, if you want to drive an electric vehicle because some con man told you to, go ahead. I think like this is you have no idea how the Hollywood cabal works. Like we are working you guys into a frenzy right now. We've convinced you to buy Teslas and to turn against the church. This is the deep state. It is working. I'm so happy that you gave me the on-ramp to finally admit. For those of you that don't know, I am liberal. I don't know if that's hard to pick up on.
Christianville says, y'all look extra brown in this studio.
Thank you, pal. I appreciate that. My dad was born in Cuba.
That's right. Get him boosting. Make him be a booster. Is he inclined to support the Miami Hurricanes and our Cuban booster cabal?
Oh, I thought we were still doing politics when you talked about booster. I only got one of those.
Oh, yeah. Well, by the Canes Connection, let's switch the subject. It's really matters. CanesConnection.com/CIS.
After the first one, I was like, all right, you guys are on to it.
We're talking about competing with Georgia for NIL and making them feel poor. That's because of CanesConnection.com/CIS. You do not need to be Cuban to be part of it. CanesConnection.com/CIS. All are welcome. Be part of the solution. Don't just talk about it. Be about it. CanesConnection.com/CIS.
Got one of those boosters because he has like the little Cuban scar, the little like circle. Yeah, my dad has one of those. So at one point, he definitely did.
What the hell were they doing back then that you got like a little Band-Aid?
Right?
Yeah.
And it looks like permanent ringworm. What's that thing called?
I'm trying to think.
What's that shot called? We got Cubans in here.
I
haven't seen a non-Cuban in like as soon as I stepped into this building. But what is that thing called that the Cubans have on their shoulders? That generation
probably knows. We got someone back there that knows the answer.
No, the chat will come through on that. But I'm totally down to do a Chiringuito style watch party here. We can do it for baseball because every time I watch baseball, I want to tear my hair out anyways because you guys did it to me again. I got my hopes up. I was ready to bleach my hair blonde. I was whatever it takes. The trip that I need to take that has eluded me is a trip to Omaha. I want to set the record for Jello shots by myself. And this baseball team won't allow me to because they have just dipped so far below what the brand deserves. Then they got hot. And then I saw all the excitement. And I was like, you guys be careful. They're just setting you up to knock you down. And then what happened? We got swept by Virginia. Don't get fooled by the Manny Diaz run at the end, folks. That you want an analogy? What's happening here with baseball is the very end of Manny Diaz that almost convinced Miami to bring him back. You want the program to be successful or not? We've all been on the same page. Not a good hire. Not a good hire. Not a good hire. And then you get a little hot, and I'd be the first in line to admit it. Look, ask Coach Larinaga. I told him to his face, I'm sorry. I pushed him out 4 Thanksgivings ago, and then he gave me an Elite 8 and a Final 4. That was embarrassing for me, but I fessed up. I told him to his face. Didn't expect that. Told Udonis Haslam. wrote you guys off. You didn't write back. Thank you. I'm sorry. Told Max Strus to his face, I'm sorry. I had that wrong. I'll tell Paul Pierce to his face he sucks. There's video of that. All right? I'm not a coward when it comes to these things. I am begging JD to make me wrong. I will be the very first person to admit that I was wrong. I just don't think you got it in you, pal.
Listen, they say momentum in baseball is the next starting pitcher. And tomorrow, Thursday, Pete will be there. Pete is the light. Griffin Hughes, one of the best pitchers in the ACC.
I'm not the light. I am Mark Light.
He is Mark Light. In my phone, he's Mark Light.
Griffin Hughes tomorrow against Notre Dame. Momentum shifts immediately. And, you know, who doesn't want to sweep Notre Dame? It's going to lead. This is the momentum that's going to go into the football game there Labor Day weekend. So, look, Hurricane fans, it is the final home series of the season. Miami Hurricanes fighting for that second seed in a regional. Major improvement from last year with a chance to get hot and win it all. Thursday night, don't miss the tomorrow. Don't miss the pregame happy hour. $4 beers, 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. You like beers? Do you don't like beers anymore?
I've been drinking fewer of them.
Yep.
Yeah. If you listen to my other job though, I come up like every 15 minutes talking about how many I drink.
There you go. They're usually $4.
Just piece it together. It wasn't semaglutide that got this body going. Listen, it was like maybe like checking myself a little bit.
You're preaching to the choir, but listen, if beers were $4, more people would drink them from 5:30 to 7 p.m. Then Friday, Saturday, exclusive Miami Hurricanes baseball trading cards. I know my son's going to be happy we're going on Friday because of the cards, limited edition and free with admission for the first 250 fans. Last chance to cheer on the Canes at home. Let's pack the light, finish strong, ignore the doubters, lock in this weekend.
Don't ignore the doubters. Let the doubters fuel you. Do not ignore the doubters. The doubters have a case here. We are right to doubt this team that was sub 500 last year. Prove the doubters wrong. Call me an idiot to my face as you head to a regional. I might be at that regional. I remember when we used to host regionals. Look, baby steps. All right. Can't get to Omaha without getting to a regional.
That's right.
All right. So get to the regional. And I will say maybe there's something to this. And we'll take a look at the lay of the land at the end of the season and compare notes. But right now, I like my hand right now. I'm doubting you, Miami baseball. I don't think you can do it.
Great question here from Johnny Lagoon. He's saying, will the Miami Beach Bulldogs be in attendance? So we lost our championship game. The pitcher, looked like he should be pitching at the light. The guy was enormous. And then we do some research. Turns out there's a May 1st cutoff to be 10 years old.
Oh,
he turned 11 in between the cutoff and the game. So legal. We're not challenging the result, but there was a lot of birthdays between May 1st and the game. I don't know if these were scouted on in some database where they found every kid that was born in between the May 1st cutoff and the May 10th championship game. I don't know if that was done, but it was a very tall and recently 11 staff that shut down the Miami Beach Bulldogs, who had defeated this team the game prior. But salute to them, and we'll on to the next one. Got a lot of Bulldogs at the All-Star game on Thursday, and we'll rebound for next season.
Pete, you got to rep hard. I want these boys that make it to a regional.
We're having the connection's unstable. We're not getting any comments yet, but I'm getting the getting the emoji there.
New studio, same Wi-Fi. We're gonna get the Starlink. We're gonna get this solved. Our guys
back now. What were you gonna ask me?
I mean, this is poured concrete over here. I don't know if the Starlink can get through it over here.
We're in the heart of the Bird Road Art District. Have you been to the Bird Road Art District for any of your cultural affairs?
Is this called the Arts District or the Warehouse District?
No, I'm pretty sure it's the Bird Road Art District. Pete, this is your hood.
Cultural district, maybe. I don't know.
Really? What's so cultural about it getting a tire rotation?
You see the art you're surrounded by?
I saw an abandoned Afila door truck. I guess it's
there's
cultural.
Also a choripan place next door. That's pretty cultural.
Yeah. I mean, arts. I mean, there's a lot of graffiti. Well, certainly here. I really like this artwork here.
Yeah. This is designed by Adrian Lorenzo right here.
It's really good stuff.
Great. A big supporter of the show. We've had him in the comments before with Johnny Lagoon. So yeah, man. By the way, I think that we labeled this thing Carson Beck throwing again, and we're about
that's what I was gonna
35 minutes in. Pete, pull up the Instagram. Yeah. Pull up the Instagram here. Let's see Carson Beck.
First, we're gonna see the golf swing.
Let's see the golf swing, Pete. This is gonna be your breakdown. Although apparently you stopped playing golf in the last 2 months.
I just haven't had time.
I haven't had time, man. This is, You got
There we go.
Fortune 50 CEOs playing golf every week. Pete doesn't got time.
Well, I'm not a Fortune 50 CEO.
That's true. All right, let's Pete break down the golf swing before you break down the
There we
throw.
go. I mean, obviously got a powerful base there.
Yeah, that bodes well.
I mean, it looks pretty good, man. He's not over swinging, but a little bit of a long swing, but under control. And then, he's doing this too, throwing the football, whatever.
Oh, there you go. That perfect.
Here we go.
Just loop this all day. That just looks right. Doesn't look right. Mike, you can't even see this. So
I saw it before.
Is it still ingrained in your memory?
The swing. I was more impressed with the swing than the throw. Quite honestly, it's a good looking golf swing.
Power, man.
That's a good looking golf swing,
man.
But there's some accuracy on that throw. What is that? Like a 30-yard pass?
Committed to Florida as a third baseman as a freshman in high school. So 14 years old. Committed to Florida to play baseball. What were you doing at 14 in Florida Christian?
At Florida Christian,
yeah,
not much. I
wrestled.
I wrestled briefly, and then I quit because that year was hard on me. And then I was listening to a lot of Papa Roach and God Goth because a lot was happening to me. And then I really didn't bloom until like midway through sophomore year when I started driving, and my dad would go out of town for like months on end, and then I became like the Rager house. Yeah,
I heard they called you Pony because you had a ponytail. Is that accurate?
No, I didn't have a.
Or were they called? Did they call you Pony? I
they did call me Pony.
What was the pony?
There's a lot of mics, and we all went to watch, I think, Spider-Man 2 one day. That's how old I am. The Spider-Man that I saw in high school was the Tobey Maguire one, and I liked Pony. The
Genuine Pony.
Yeah. No. Well, I do like that song too. No, the clothing brand Pony.
What's Pony, like Polo?
No. Pony is a clothing brand. Tracksuits, like Pony. Yeah. So I wore like a Pony tracksuit, and to differentiate was like Mike, Pony Mike. And then Pony just kind of stuck.
Yeah. Huh. Blend, we pretty much just stuck to Polo and Lacoste. We didn't really branch out too much on the brands.
Well, I didn't take it to school. Like this was like at a movie theater. This was my casual wear, like a tracksuit. And that's how I got nicknamed Pony over there.
All right. Do you still wear Pony?
No, it's hard to find.
Yeah.
I think Joey Badass is like a spokesperson for the brand though, which is, I like Joey Badass. How about them Knicks? Huh? How about them Knicks?
Let's close it out tonight, baby.
We are. I don't want that building to have a single moment of hope. Choke the life out of them.
Not the last time we'll be talking about the Balkers in this show, yeah.
Dude, how big are Jalen Brunson's balls?
No, we'll be talking about him in a second. Not the balls part, but the
Jalen Brunson's balls are massive.
When's your out, by the way, today?
At 1:45.
All right, we got a little bit of time,
man. And they keep telling me, like, my wife wants me to tent the house, and they keep telling me, don't tent the house. They can just come back. This treatment plan will help. So I'm like a couple years into this treatment plan,
just
but
tent the house.
You'd think, right? But they keep telling me it's a waste. It's a waste, and it's very concentrated to one area. I hate termites. It doesn't look like it's that active though this year. It really doesn't. Like when the swarmers come out, they look like they're like mutated, like they've had a booster or two.
Just get the tent, man.
I'm following the advice of the people that know what they're talking about.
They're just trying to take your money, man. They're trying to save up.
They make more money if I tent the house. I already have the termite protection plan.
I've always wondered, are they Cuban?
Truly, Nolan doesn't sound Cuban.
Well, the people that are doing it.
I don't want to judge. Like some of them are Hispanic. I know them all by this point.
I'm Cuban. I usually, when I don't like to have Cuban people working on my construction or stuff because they feel like I'm always getting skimmed a little bit. This is my personal experience.
That's messed up.
I could say it, but now I know that they're just saving money for the cabal to buy all these players. So I'm comfortable. I'm glad they were skimming me the whole time.
The Cuban cabal.
I'm glad.
Yeah,
I didn't get the memo. I should have gotten the memo.
The Cuban cabal can't be confused with liberals.
Yeah, I don't skim anybody. I gotta start skimming people and giving the money to Canes Connection.
Yeah, well, Carson Beck, he looked good.
Yeah, he did look good. That was
he looked good. Hitch. He looked good. Although I do have to confront you on one of your older takes.
Oh, talk to me.
When it comes to quarterback evaluation.
Okay, finish. Go ahead. Finish.
D, make sure you're talking into the mic.
Okay.
We're
learning.
We're
learning.
So,
Go ahead.
Pete.
Yes.
I mean, when it comes to quarterback evaluation, there's a couple of tropes, fair or unfair, that D Money really tries to advance the cause on. Do you know them when it comes to quarterback evaluation? He doesn't like swaggy white guys.
Yes, it's true.
He hates swaggy white guys at quarterback.
Yes.
And tattoos.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think we can classify Carson as swaggy, although the fade may try to tell us different. I'll let D-Money try to tell us. But we can definitely confirm the tattoos.
Yeah, don't feel good about it. I do not feel great about that aspect of the profile.
And tattoos could also mean swaggy.
You know, he's got time to be born again. Your boy Baker, I believe his career turned around at the time he was born again. I believe that's accurate.
Is that true?
He was born again, I think. Baker, I heard him saying some stuff. Around the time when he started playing good for the Bucks.
Is that
that's
true?
Right. Confirm in the comments. I think that's right.
Let me tell you, there was one.
I heard Beck on a faith-based podcast. You know, he's playing golf now.
There was one Messiah that saved his career, and it was Sean McVay. Sean McVay saved Baker Mayfield's career. And then he went to Tampa and he did his thing. And by the way, Baker has tattoos now too.
You're the next Steve Young, according to you. By the way, it's the Steve Young.
You have to eat the Steve Young comp. My boy was like,
eat it as being
Sparky
true?
was a plug for that team. Sparky he had Steve Young runs. Not the greatest run of all time, which I will concede. But look at the rushing average. Very Steve Youngish year from Baker Mayfield. I won that one last year. You got to stand down.
If it was this era, Steve Young would be like Lamar Jackson. He'd be running for 10 touchdowns a year.
I understand. But the conversation that we were having is if you drop Baker Mayfield into that era with Baker Mayfield's current style of play, he'd be looked at as like a Mark Brunell, Steve Youngish type of quarterback that is like, wow, look at this mind-blowing athleticism. And thanks to guys like Lamar Jackson today, people overlook Baker's athleticism. People laugh when I invoke the name of Steve Young when I'm doing an era thing. He's got the athleticism to be like, who's more athletic? Fran Tarkington or Baker Mayfield?
Pete. What was the answer to this
Fran
question?
Tarkington all
yeah,
day.
well, I picked a bad one.
My dad put me on old NFL
Yeah,
films.
I picked a bad one. Fran was raw.
He's like Johnny Football in the pros.
Yeah, but if you put Baker Mayfield in the era of Fran Tarkington, everyone's like,
there were million Baker Mayfield, like a white guy playing amongst a million white guys. It's not like he was anything special. The guy's 5'10".
why are you still knocking Baker Mayfield?
Randall has confirmed what you said, D. He says
that he's born again.
Baker Mayfield has openly shared his testimony of finding faith in Jesus Christ and experiencing a spiritual rebirth. He describes his journey as a period of hitting rock bottom before finding
rebirth, but he was always Christian.
From Google.
But he was always Christian.
Yeah, but not as...
He's from a part of the country where you're always Christian.
Not as intense. Not as intense.
Well, they had him running scout team defensive end in Carolina. if anything will make you try to find God, it's working for David Tepper.
All right, we got a question here from Sergio. He goes, where are the vegan birthday croquetas for D-Money? He's a man. I'll tell you where they are. Pete knows where they are. If you listen to the show, you know where they are. And that is Islas Canarias. Listen, if you're a meat eater, they got you covered. The OG ham has won Croqueta of the Year pretty much every year that award's been in existence. It is the best croqueta on planet Earth. Just like they made it in Cuba with better ingredients, better modern technologies, 40 plus years of serving it. But they've also grown with the times. So if you are a vegan or if you want a Korean flavor like Johnny Lagoon likes to get the kimchi croqueta, the chef's favorite, shout out to Eileen, you can get that too. They got all the options there. 7 different types of croquetas at Islas Canarias, including the OG ham, which, by the way, they also have gluten-free. If you are allergic to gluten, which, again, I still do not know what gluten is, but if you are gluten-resistant or something's wrong with the gluten, they got gluten-free. So 7 different types.
There's so many more people that are allergic to gluten these days.
I know. I mean,
when I was growing up, no one was allergic to gluten.
You were allergic to gluten?
No. When I was growing up, no one was allergic to gluten. And then I get older, all these people have gluten allergies. What do you think's going on there?
Nate Watson asked, do they have empanadas? Yes, they do, Nate.
Do you think
it's kind of empanada, Nate?
Do you think it's a science changing around identifying gluten allergies, or do you think it's vaccines?
You want my honest opinion?
No, I don't. I don't. I want to just say that line and you try to keep moving over it.
I think people want...
Mike, you gotta talk into the mic.
Thank you.
I think people want...
Does he have to this time?
People want to have something, People always want to have something to say now. So gluten is like a thing to have. We got a gluten problem. Now you got something to you. You're not just a normal person. You got a
Right.
little thing to you, the
Right.
gluten problem.
Okay.
That's, I think, what it is.
All right. Are we talking about the other one though?
Listen, I'm moving on. I am moving on. I never answered your question, by the way.
No, you haven't. You haven't
about-
answered. Like,
and
I wasn't
I'd love
happy.
to.
You
About-
put it
so-
all on
so
Stacey
we
Searles.
shit on Stacey Searles appropriately.
Yeah.
Thinks.
Okay.
So that's
The
part of it.
Carson Beck answer though did not.
Oh, well, hold on. Wait, well, hold on.
So he's got
wait, I
time
didn't
to
finish
find
Stacey
God.
Searles. So Stacey Searles, the best offensive line of those three teams this year was Miami. It was not Georgia. It was not Oregon, despite those teams having top 1 classes every single year.
Which
Top
is why
3.
draft picks is a cherry picked argument.
They're good coming in. They're
Yeah.
not getting better. They're getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
They're 5 stars getting drafted in the 3rd round. That's not good.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. The best offensive line was us. And if I would have told you, hey, Mario's going to be here and in 3 years, we're going to have a better offensive line than Oregon, better offensive line than Georgia, you'd say that's crazy. Miami, we were just doing splits a second ago with Searles.
But if I tell you that we have more money than those programs, then you would understand.
That's right. You know, richer than Phil Knight, richer than all the good old boys in the South. The Cuban cartel is dominant right now in the paying players market. CanesConnection.com/CIS if you want to be part of the cartel.
By the way, it's about 1:30, and I know Mike has a 1.
I'll do 45.
But
yeah.
But I appreciate
Beck,
that.
again,
Do you have a
Beck-
wrestler of the week?
Beck was on a
I
faith-based
do have a wrestler of
podcast.
the week,
He's
yeah.
trending. He's faith-based podcast. He's social media has declined precipitously. He's playing golf.
Right.
I think he's making progress in de-swagging.
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 I've never heard this term
He's
before.
de-swagging.
Now, can you find any faith, or does it have to be a specific one?
Mormons accepted. We accept the Mormon. He wants to be a Mormon.
It's
That
a
was
dangerous
really
game.
that
We're
was
parsing
really
the religions
that
we're
was really the problem with
accepting.
Zach Wilson. I found out Zach Wilson is an apostate.
Did you know that the International Church of Satan has had 0 sexual abuse allegations in its history?
'Cause-
And moreover, now you could say, what about the cover-ups? No alleged cover-ups either. Now that can mean one of two things: that they've never actually tried to cover up the 0 instances of sexual assault that they've had,
It's
or
expected.
they've had very effective cover-ups.
I think they would cover up like good deeds because they're Satanists. So they don't want you to know about the good deeds that they do. If they're like actually nice guys that just like Satan sometimes, they would cover that up.
Well, it's actually kind of like a misnomer. I've heard like interviews, like there's this wrestler that's a Satanist, Aleister Black, and I've heard him talk about it a
Seems
little
like
bit.
a great guy.
Seems like a super nice guy, pretty down to earth, normal marriage. So like, I've researched this because that band Ghost that was my song of the week last week, they're Satanists. They hail Satan in their music. And I was like enjoying that album so much. I was like, I had to ask ChatGPT, am I satanic if I like this band? Thankfully, AI told me I'm just fine. So that's
It threw a
good.
joke in there too. Did you notice that? The AI threw a joke at the end. It's like,
Yeah.
it's getting pretty good.
Yeah. So AI's, well, especially my ChatGPT. I'm trying to like get my relationship with ChatGPT is far more humorous. But anyways, it made me like evaluate what is Satanism. And apparently it's not so much about worshiping a dude with pointy horns and, you know, the classic Lucifer Beelzebub devil. It's more about following your inhibitions within reason, doing what you like, provided that you have permission to, and it's not illegal, but really pushing the boundaries of one's inhibitions and following them, which I found fascinating. Now, I am not turning into a Satanist. I just want to tell you that there are a lot of misconceptions about the International Church of Satan. And thank you for watching us here on Canes Insight. Your patronage is always appreciated.
Yeah, man, they're ducking out.
Wait till the rest of the week, which is not the Satanist. I'll do that one next week. The deeper I get Lucifer's hooks in me.
Yeah, said Trevor Seller saying, D-Money, you should watch the Built for More pod with him. Seems pretty rude in his face. Just for the viewers to know, I'm on that side. I'm not on the Satanist side. I've not seen a Satanist quarterback, although Kirby Freeman performed some satanic acts to the fan base. But I'm not aware of them producing
I'm
too
not a
many
Satanist
championship
either.
quarterbacks.
I went to Florida Christian right down the road. I was born in the church. I went to church every Sunday. My wife and I are very active in my wife, her family built the Greek Orthodox Church here. I'm just saying there are a lot of misconceptions about the International Church of Satan. And that statement is in a vacuum, folks.
Steven Aveo's asking, who are the next recruits we should be watching? Say Blake Stewart, Vance Spafford, we got some momentum there. I'll do another bank soon. And also for CanesConnection.com/CIS members have a private chat on Tuesday where I'll be able to say everything that I can't say with the spies watching. There'll be no Gators in the chat, no Knowles in the chat, no Satanists in the chat. It will be a clean Zoom experience.
Pejorative.
ADHD on full display here.
Jack says, I went back to watch Miami's NIT run. Not sure why you would do that. And I was surprised to hear Peter's voice commentating. Yeah, that was 10 years ago, man. 9 years ago. Crazy. Great times.
Look at, I mean, what about
He's
Mike?
got a wrestler of the week, so we got to make sure we carve
Mike
out
keeps
time.
me from kind of being my full self because the image, she doesn't want me to ruin the show. And he's out here pushing the line with the Satan
Not
defense.
pushing. I'm just clearing up misconceptions. It's not. Look, you have to admit, we just elected a new pope, right? I'm not going to get so into that, but like, you got one side of the aisle that's got a lot of atrocities.
Mike,
What?
how's the other side of the aisle's atrocities?
Look, Satan, like, bad dude. You won't hear me say a good word about him. Fallen angel, not good. Bad stuff. A lot of people do bad things in his name. Right?
We had a world war. I don't believe that was a religious war. Pretty sweet. 2 of those.
Let's not get into the religious wars.
I believe we had.
Let's not get into those.
I believe we had a regime that killed about 100 million people. I don't think they had a religion attached to them.
Yeah.
They certainly have not produced any starting quarterbacks of note
Hmm.
that I'm aware
Let
of.
me tell you something. If this comes between evil and the Catholics, Labor Day weekend, I know what side you're going to be on. All right.
That's
and
it.
it better not be the Catholics. All right. Better not be the Catholics that weekend.
Well, there will be plenty of Catholics in Hard Rock, and they will be liquored up, I promise, ready to explode when we get an interception for a touchdown.
I'm starting to think we beat their pants.
I'm feeling better about it. It's going to be, listen, I think it'll be a close game.
I think
game, and it's going to come down to a few
their
plays.
pants. I think we beat their pants, D.
Beat their pants. You're ready? It's May. We got time to build up to this.
I think we beat their pants. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Has Mark Fletcher lost weight?
he has lost weight. We'll see where he's most.
Is that going to help us, like when he gets to the second level?
He's
Because
gonna
he's
be
got to
big
get to the second level. Is he going to have pull away speed now?
He's going to be big regardless. So, we'll see if he's more effective going on the speed route because he's never going to be a small, weak back.
No.
We got a whole summer to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, this could just be a spring body right now. But I saw him like at the Miami Hurricanes team store. I was like, that's Mark Fletcher? Looks like a wide receiver now.
Yeah, no, he's still gonna have the power. We'll see where his ideal size lands. So we got 10 minutes left. We got to get off this Satan talk. The comments are going very much anti-Satan, thankfully, in the chat.
I don't like Satan just as much as the next guy. I'm just saying that the International Church of Satan isn't so much about praising Satan. That's a misconception. And I'm also shining a light on the fact that with all these churches going around there, you'd think that there would be some pretty heinous stuff when you looked under the hood. 0 sexual assault allegations from that church.
We're going in. That's how they do it. You go in there expecting the assault. That's what it is.
I'm not attacking deities, and I'm not telling you what to think. Just asking you if you'd like to. That's how good this album is by Ghost.
Okay, well, transition. Oh, that's the Ghost album. That should be your song.
That's how good this album is.
Song of the week.
Like I'm out here like in public defense, comparing and contrasting track records of atrocities.
I feel pretty good about.
I just want, if I leave you with one thing, it's that I don't think Satan's a good guy.
Yeah, I think
the whole original sin snake thing, that was very tricky. It was a very tricky thing that he did, and he was wrong
we had
for
the
it.
most violent century in the history of humankind.
Yeah.
Just passed. I don't believe any of those were religious conflicts.
Are you talking about the Crusades?
90% of them was. Are we talking about World War II, World War I?
Are we talking about the Crusades?
The entire reign of terror of communism, which continues to this day.
Do you think? Do you think that they counted all the bodies that they killed during the Crusades?
Hey, listen, maybe some of them had to go. Some of them had to go. Some of them had to go, man. So, anyways,
I'm so happy this is your 40th birthday special.
You're like, I'm showing such restraint. My wife is blowing me up with text right now because she knows I am letting out so little that I want to say.
I'm trying to get you to crack.
Listen, I
almost got you with the gluten thing. I think you kind of caught on to what I was talking about.
I'll let Kendrick speak for me in the comments, man. Appreciate you, Kendrick. I'll let Kendrick.
This is not fair because I can't see the comments, and I would have honestly. This is data for me going next week because I may have pushed too hard on the Satan stuff.
Oh yeah, they're coming at you. You're done next week. They're coming after you
with pitchforks.
Yeah, Yeah, with pitchforks. Look at it. Yeah, they're coming after you. All right. So where are we even at?
I could see it on Pete's face.
I checked out like 15 minutes
Really?
ago on that whole
That was some
I had no- I
captivating
had no
stuff
idea
right
what
there,
was
man.
happening now.
We got the comments doing my work for me, so I don't even got to respond. Appreciate you, Kendrick.
I think I lost them when I revealed my political leanings, and then just confirmed it by being viewed as pro-satanic.
There you go. You know what? You did. Hey,
Hollywood Cabal.
you said it. You said it. I
When you taste the baby blood, you have no idea what's coming next.
You said it. Hey, listen. So switching gears to the world of pop music, or maybe not even switching gears.
I've got thoughts on your song. I've got thoughts on your song.
You got thoughts on my song?
Yeah, I listened to your song. I knew of your song before.
Of course, yeah.
And I gave it another listen.
You didn't like it?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love the song that you picked.
Oh, you don't have the computer in front of you. So Pete's working as a producer here. You got Red Wine Supernova by not Chappelle Pete, Chapel. Not Chappelle, Chapel Roan.
There's no way Pete is retaining any of that.
Well, he's got a nice picture of Dave Chappelle here as as the writer of Red Wine Supernova. So, big Lady Gaga fan. She kind of took a step back as far as the recording for the music. Has a new album. It's okay. Great live performances. 2 million over there in Brazil, as you know.
Yeah.
So, Chapel Roan. I like to keep this geographic when we can. Jackson Cantwell committing to Miami from Southwest Missouri. So who's the most famous artist out of Southwest Missouri right now? Would be Chapel Roan. So I like this song, Red Wine Supernova. Got the acoustic guitar, got the great hook, great feel. I'm a fan. You listen to it, you got thoughts. So tell me what's going on.
Well, this is a great artist, which has Pink Pony Club is one of the greatest songs ever written. And it's got staying power because that song is like right around COVID. Might have been written pre-COVID. And it's like bigger today than it's ever been. Chapel Roan has a lot of big anthemic numbers, and you kind of try to impress here with a lesbian love anthem that is incredible.
It's a hit song too.
Yeah. No, she's got a lot of hits. I got off on the wrong foot with Chapel Roan because I was introduced to her when she was playing the Lollapalooza stage and had the biggest crowd ever at Lollapalooza when she was playing an afternoon set. I'm like, come on. I went to Lollapalooza 12 straight years. How can this be? Why has TikTok ruined everything? We just microwave headliners these days. What about working for it? Little did I know, pig-headed thought, because she had been working. She'd been putting the work in. And also, she turned out to be awesome. I love her catalog. She's fantastic. I think the world of her. And I'm very happy that you picked her.
But
you should pick Pink Pony Club. You should have picked she's got massive hit songs, but
it's a hit song. Very good.
That's a hit song too. That's
very
a good one.
Feel.
That playlist is gonna be all over the place, huh?
Well, we're I think the show's kind of reflective of that here. Yeah. So Mike, what do you got on Song of the Week?
What's the Church of
Satan got for you?
I think I had Turnstile like a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
I had Turnstile on this playlist before. Turnstile is one of probably my favorite contemporary rock band. I love Jack White. He's like my favorite act ever, but he's not, I guess he's okay. I don't want to get in the weeds, but in terms of like new on the scene, like hitting their peak, arrows pointing up, Turnstile for me is going to dominate this summer with live performances. They're starting to play shows around this new album. The videos from their Free Baltimore show were incredible. The energy that this band has when they play live is unparalleled. And this album is going to be a certified banger of an album. My hopes couldn't be higher. Rick Rubin producing it. They are going for the jugular. They want to be mainstay headliners. And this song that I heard of the 3 singles that have been out, this song Birds, it's a hardcore punk, 2 minutes and 23 of hardcore punk that'll smash your face into a wall. It is great. It's also catchy. It's the lyrics are liberating, and cannot wait to see them perform this song live. Turnstile, if you haven't been put on to them, please check them out. This album will certainly make you a believer. I believe it just from this song. And the cool thing that they're doing with this album is they filmed the video for each and every track on this album. It's actually a short film that's going to be premiering at Tribeca. So you absolutely know they're going for it.
Yeah, these guys, you put a lot of these songs on the playlist from this band. I'm not familiar with them at all until you put me on. This song was cool. Is it started off with like a little, like, it's not like the Final Countdown or like or Sirius. You know, like the little
Yeah.
opening chord,
Yeah.
and then a switch to the very fast.
Kind of sounds like hella good, like kind of like, which is a great
once it comes
pop
in.
rock song from No Doubt. Kind of a little similarities to hella good. I can't like this song is gonna be like a mosh pit scene. It went free. I like hardcore punk. I like rock music. I don't like the devil, but I'm
Smallpox vaccine caused the circular scar.
Well, my dad didn't get smallpox, so there you go. That's a 0.4.
Yeah, that's what it is. I
It's like
remember
a third nipple, really. So,
Efficacy.
wrestler of the week.
Good word.
You know, why don't you start on the wrestler of the week here? Let's get your guys ready here.
I briefly forgot who my wrestler of the week was. Who was it?
Oh, Sheamus.
Oh,
Paul's Game
Sheamus.
Day
Yeah,
Picker of the Year.
Sheamus Banger. Sorry about that. Sheamus is mad old. He's
He looks
super
He
old.
looks like Coach Feld.
He does
A little bit.
just like
Same kind of complexion too. Would not win the tan contest here. Sheamus is like a fine wine, getting better with age. The guy had like a huge back surgery, came back, maybe not better than ever. He was body shamed a little bit, but this guy just knows the art form of professional wrestling, knows how to work as a big time power moves. It still looks so fluid despite everything that's gone on with his body. Believable as a monster, fun as a comedy act. Arguably one of the greatest tag teams ever with the Bar. Too short of a run. I would put that tag team in the Hall of Fame. Cesaro and Sheamus. Great little rivalry that they had. He's a Grand Slam champion for the WWE. He's been the guy for the company in brief moments of time. Really more of like a transitional champion guy, honestly, but does incredible work in the mid card. Up for any assignment. This guy, if he's in a match, it becomes appointment watching, and he helped get one of your new favorites over in Gunther.
Yep.
Gunther does not reach those levels without Sheamus helping him along the way. So Sheamus, I just want to credit a pro's pro, a guy that delivers matches. You used to look at a Sheamus match on the card and be like, all right, let me fast forward through this. The guy learned so much through the ring psychology and through the believability. He has good strikes. I know you're a big believer in strikes. He throws tremendous strikes.
He is aggressively not tanned.
No.
I think he lives in Florida.
I think he was a Nashville guy. Did he move to Florida?
Nashville?
I think
Okay.
he lives in Nashville.
Okay.
He and Rusev were buds.
I've seen him hanging out with people in Florida. I mean, even Nashville, how do you keep that lack of tan? He's aggressive with it, and it works for him.
It's a nuclear white tan.
Puts a lot of pressure on the physique when you're in your 40s to not have that kind of tan.
Yeah.
So shout out to Sheamus. I agree with everything he said. Correctly picked the Knowles to lose opening week, which was, people doubted him at the time.
Yeah. No, he was bullish on Georgia Tech.
Called it to the T. Got invited to Georgia Tech afterwards. Does look like Coach Feld. So shout out to Sheamus. Paid his dues. Kind of like Michael Cole. At first, people were like, not sure. And now he's like, they like him again.
I'm still not a Michael Cole.
You're still a Michael Cole guy?
No.
I like him without Vince. He's better. He's seen everything. He's a veteran. It's like Sheamus. They're veterans.
I mean, at a certain point, you've just been around, and you're basically all people know. I like Tom Hannafin, who went to Impact Wrestling. I thought from the heavens. I thought he was great. I thought he was better than Cole.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I like Cole. He's Cole McAfee, and our guy Joe Tess.
Joe Tess is great at it.
It's gone to a whole new level. So my wrestlers, I got 2 wrestlers of the week here. Wrestling, a lot of times predicts what's going to happen in the future. I know you got to go right here. Predicted the projected Eastern Conference Finals. Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton. They faced off a couple times here.
Listen, I gotta say, I had Brunson last week, man.
You had Brunson last week?
I said
you did have Brunson last week, so I'm stealing it. I'm throwing Halliburton in the mix, having recently eliminated the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were fakers the whole time. I never believed. I'm not surprised that they took advantage of a Heat team that was in transition, and then of course were exposed pretty quickly. So shout out to Tyrese Halliburton and Jalen Brunson.
That's going to be great to rehash during the ECF, which will most assuredly feature the New York Knickerbockers.
Our New York Knickerbockers.
Our New York Knickerbockers, which we love passionately and have for several years, Pete. I mean,
don't you just love rooting for a team that's not afraid to go make changes in the offseason?
Go for it.
They just go for it, man.
Hey, OG Anunoby's available. We'll have the best offer.
Go get him.
That's refreshing.
Got to go. Jackson
Wait,
Cantwell.
no, wait.
He's got a wrestler of the week.
147, just so you know.
It's all right.
Let's go.
I'm not missing this for the world.
Pete, let's go.
It's
Let's-
your
let's get the high
40th
point of the
birthday. I
show.
got to hear the
Don't
rest of the
try
week.
Bills here.
And honestly, you guys are trying to silence me. I'm really upset that neither of you picked this man, this legend. I'm gonna go with Terrence Michael Brunk, or as
Ooh.
us wrestling fans knew him as, Sabu.
He's right.
We lost a hardcore legend a few days ago, fellas. Really disappointed in your choices there a moment ago, but was the ECW world champ and the NWA world champ. Was not known for his titles as much as he was his crazy matches, as we all know. Barbed wire, microwaves, tack nails, tables on fire. This guy did anything he wanted and needed to entertain us lovers of this great sport. Some of his most memorable matches with Rob Van Dam, Taz, and the Sandman. He was special. He's going to be missed.
What was your favorite rivalry?
My favorite rivalry?
The Sabu.
You know what? I'll tell you this much. I'll tell you my favorite move of his.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
And I'm going to
It's the same thing, yeah.
rivalry? No.
Rivalry.
No. My favorite finishing move of
Yeah,
his.
same thing, yeah.
The Arabian clutch, also
Yeah.
known as the camel clutch.
Yeah.
The old triple jump into a leg drop or a moonsault. Come on now.
It's funny how in the Middle East they're like, this is our move. We're gonna dominate this specific move. It's like in New England, they're like, we're gonna put them in crabs.
Samoan headbutts.
Yeah. It's almost as if there is one person perpetuating racial stereotypes that's been atop the sport for 40 years.
Listen, if you're in the Middle East, watch out. If you're on, if you're on your stomach,
Yeah.
you're getting stretched.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to Jackson Cantwell picking the U. Shout out to everybody on the stream. We still have almost 1,400 after a full-throated defense of Satanism.
That wasn't a full-throated defense. It
Price is
wasn't.
king.
Hey,
Islas
baseball,
Canarias, we
Canes
love you.
baseball, shut me
Canes
up.
baseball. We're going to win this weekend.
JD, show me
Go
something.
Canes.
Go Canes.